Hi everyone, it's me, Dan from Uncles and Fatherhood, and I have an awesome episode for you today. I got to talk to my friend, Travis Murray. He's a dad. He has a son that's 7 years old, just like my nephew. Um, and we got to talk about a lot of cool things music, theater, and dad life. And he came to my house and we got to do the interview in person. So that was really cool. And I can't wait for you guys to check it out and listen to it. See you guys later. So, Travis, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Hey, Travis Murray. Hey, just wanted to say I'm honored to be here tonight. I appreciate the platform and the opportunity to speak with you. Um, I'm a You're my family member, extended family, of course. I'm on the Murray side of the family, and then
Speak
we
up in
have
the mic.
the Owen family, and we have the Ferguson family, and we all are a good group of people. And I'm happy to speak. Um, and I'm happy that you invited me to speak today.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you.
Thank you.
So, what's a day in the life as a father?
Oh gosh, well, it depends on what age it is. For one, in the early years, it was. Yeah, I have a 7-year-old boy. First of all, so I just wanted to point that out. Um, he's with his mother right now, but and I am divorced. We are divorced, but in the early years, it was very active. I was making a lot of breakfasts and doing all the meals and all that stuff, and going to work and then coming home and then picking him up and doing all that stuff. So, um, being a dad is probably the greatest thing in my life. I will say that.
So, what kind of things do did you like to do with your son?
Oh, all kinds of stuff. My son is extremely active. He is really involved in sports. I wanted him to do a little music and stuff like that, but that didn't. There's only so much time in the day to do however many things you can do. But
Yeah.
I will say he has kind of tended towards that, to different sports, including basketball, um, flag football, and t-ball. Um, he's gotten into more at this point, as far as the baseball is concerned. He's gotten it's machine pitch, so he's gotten to be able to do that.
That's
It's
cool.
been a joy to watch him.
I feel like all the cousins are like getting into that. Like you got Asher, you got I know you got Griffin that's doing uh, soccer, and then you got Asher doing baseball or golf. Um, it's it's kind of cool seeing your seeing my nephews doing something that they love. Um, I but I think I could see um, Asher being on a good team or something, like when he gets into grade school, like high school or college, maybe. I don't know. Kind of be kind of cool.
Yeah,
Um,
maybe a scholarship. Why not?
yeah,
You never know. I mean, but I think that the cool thing is just to let the kiddos kind of choose and navigate the whole navigating thing, trying to find your way. I mean, I was lucky enough with my parents that they always kind of let me navigate, with me and my two brothers, we were always, allowed to navigate and try to kind of find our way. What kind of interests do you like? And they were always open to helping us. And I think that was a very productive thing for us. And I think that's a very productive thing for Callan too, my son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, does Callan have other hobbies besides like doing sports?
Yeah, I mean, he loves everything. He reminds me of just me, basically. I mean, I have so many different hobbies and interests. It's crazy. I'm in. I have a music degree, for goodness sake. but yet I was also involved in sports when I was younger, and then you know, I got involved in music and all that good stuff. And um, Callan tends to have an affinity for that as well at some points.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we'll see. We'll see what just where he lies, But
I think it will go somewhere. um, so tell me a little bit more about yourself as a doing theater, like about theater in the park kind of stuff.
yeah, well, Theater in the Park started well after college, but the main theater started after I graduated from college. I wanted to do professional theater, and I tried to do that. I wanted to be a professional at one point, until I just got sick of it. I got sick of the auditioning and sick of the traveling and sick of the all this and that. But man, I had some great experiences uh, growing up, just right out of college. Got to go to Aspen, Colorado. Got some great experiences. Man, I got to perform at a dinner theater. It was basically like a comedy club that was Saturday Night Live, basically on uh, with dinner, and that was the most fun I think I ever had. I spent 2 years out there and did that. I got to travel around, do all kinds of fun stuff, but I did get sick of it. It just seemed to be a little bit too much, and I wanted to come back home. And ultimately, what I wanted was a family. I wanted to um, come back home to Kansas City because I tried, and that wasn't the life for me, really. So that's kind of my story there. But does that answer your question? I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, what was your favorite play when you did theater?
Oh, Evita. I'd say Evita was my favorite play. If you're going to talk about Theater in the Park, I did a lot of stuff at Theater in the Park when I came back. That's because when I did come back, couldn't I couldn't scrape the itch of wanting to still be a part of the theater community and being a part of the stuff that was going on. And so I did several shows every summer. I guess I would say like 4 years. And there was this guy named Greg Shaw, who was a huge influence in my life, and a great director. And I got a chance to perform with my brother, um, Jason, who was in West Side Story. And he was Tony, and I was the other guy. That he killed me in the show. All right. so, so I'm sorry, but I'm not too happy about that, but we had a lot of fun, and we had those are great memories that I'm never gonna forget about. Just very very quality memories.
That's cool, man. I went to your brother's events most of the time, and I got invited to go. Um, and I do remember there was a um, play that he was in that was somewhere downtown Kansas City in this little venue on the side of the highway that I could remember. Um, it was very interesting. Don't know the name of the play, the name of the play, but it was very interesting. But great show.
Yeah. Well, and I know my brother Jason always, you know, but he has three kids. I only have one. I have a little bit more of a little bit more flexibility. However, I would say this: we've always kind of talked about just a little bit. What wouldn't it be cool if we could just get together and do, another Theater in the Park show? That would be so cool. But I mean, look, I, I will say this: I went back and at one point, I think it was like a week ago, I went back and tried to count all the shows that I did, and I count up about 70, 70 shows that I've done over the years, whether it be before, during high school, in college, and then beyond college. It's pretty substantial. And Jason has done a lot as well. But the most rewarding shows that I've done is with Jason. When I've been able to be with my family, and
Yeah.
that's part about that I wanted to mention about being a father is I would really love to be able to do a show with my son someday.
That'd be fun.
Sure would be. Is my ex-wife gonna allow me to do that?
And I
That's
guess
the
I guess you have to get the ex-wife on the stage as well.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen. No, my ex-wife, and I'm just being candid here. She told me when I broached the situation. She said, "No, you're done. You're done. Your time is done." I said, "Really?" Because I guarantee you, I'm in
Well,
very, very good voice right now.
well, you
I'm not
know what you
lying.
say. There is other people the in like the theater world that are still dads and they're still doing theater. So I guess you have a chance to take the take the route and do it because there's not nobody's else gonna tell you you should or not.
Perhaps.
I mean, you could do it. I mean, if you want to do it, go for it. I mean, I would go see you.
I want to. Oh, I'll tell you a good, just little story real quick. I mean, I went to audition. It was Nick Paget Productions,
Mm-hmm.
Rock of Ages. Um, I sang the heck out of that audition, but I'm just a little bit. I don't have the long hair, and I'm more clean shaven and all this, but I can sing it. Um, but I can't. I couldn't pull that role off. My good friend Patrick Llewellyn was in there. He was singing along with me, what was the song? Don't Stop Believing. No, I went in there and just sang the heck out of it. I mean, I was in perfect voice, but I just didn't really look the part. I'm 45 years old now. So, what are you going to do? Like you got to kind of realize that some of the theater stuff that I used to do is a younger man's game, so to speak.
Now, I was just thinking about this question. How did you and Jason get the voice? Like, how it was? Is did your mom and dad have like a singing voice? And
Oh no, that's a good question. And if my mom and dad hear this, or they know that they don't, no, there were no genes. Like I actually started taking voice lessons when I was younger, and Jason naturally had a pretty decent voice, probably even better than mine. I had more of like a classical type,
uh,
voice, and that's why I ended up going to college for it. But Jason was more musical theater. Um, both of us have different, kind of genres. But even in college, I did operas. That was part of my scholarship responsibilities. But Jason, was more kind of just a side thing for him. But he followed in my suit. He saw what I did in high school. Obviously, he went to the same high school that I did, and he was enthralled with some of the stuff that I was doing, and
yeah.
he just kind of picked up where I left off once I graduated from high school. And man, yeah, he was the lead in every single show after I left. So when I was a senior, he was a freshman, and he saw me, in it was called Evita, and I played the role of Che, and I killed it. Everybody loved it, and then he's looking at that. He's like, "Well, I want to do that too," and so that's kind of where Jason kind of came around. And but it's great for him because he Jason is fantastic. He's got a great voice. It's
Yeah.
too bad that he doesn't want to
Dude.
perform.
Yeah.
But both of us were not in the position to do that anymore necessarily.
I mean, he could. I mean,
We could, but
I mean,
we got kids.
well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, people have kids and they can still do singing if they want.
Sure.
It's
Yeah.
not.
And I've been offered all kinds of stuff, bands, and I've sung in bands before, briefly, but it doesn't. That's not the life that I want to really lead. But I have so much performing experience that it would be sad if I didn't.
Oh, just like be just doing something.
Hmm.
That would be that would be sad if you didn't take it. And I mean, you could do a lot. I mean, you can just do like local little shows in Kansas City, just sharing your music and getting a couple of friends to just back you up on a track or two.
Without a doubt. Even though I'm a little bit older, I mean that doesn't mean that I'm down and out.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can still. I'll tell you what though, with the male voice, talking about if you want to talk about bands and stuff like that and singers, the male voice. uh, just based off of my knowledge, like it grows. Like my voice is as strong as it's ever been. I mean, I can sing an opera if I want to as a tenor. But with my classical training, but that comes with it grows much more than like a female voice. The female voice kind of tones down just a little bit, once they get into their 40s.
Mhm.
But the male voice, excuse me, it actually grows. It grows. It gets stronger. Pavarotti, believe it or not, he smoked until he was like 60, and he sounded the greatest that he ever did. And at 60 years old, it's crazy how you think about that. But
Yeah.
but that's the truth. Like the male voice is just a little bit different. You know, you, once you learn how to sing classically, you can pretty much sing anything. You can sing rock and roll, you can do musical theater, you can do anything. You can anything. It's pretty cool.
Now, did you? So when you're doing your, like, were you born with a voice? 'Cause I feel like I was, but I mean, I did plays a little bit in college, or not in college, but in high school or middle school. But um, then I was like, I tried out for a play, kind of, but then I said, no, I'll be in the background.
Uh huh.
And I kind of, I said, I can't do this. I think it was Pippin or something, and I said, nope, I cannot be around these people to sing. It's too embarrassed. So then I just said, no, let's just keep on being in the back. I mean, I loved it in the back. Um,
I got a funny story for you. All right, so this is how it all started. Like I'm sitting in the yeah in it was in middle school, and her name was Mrs. Unruh, and she's auditioning for these people to just like it was a required thing for us to sing, and she's just auditioning all of us guys, and we were walking around, and it's Earth Angel is what it is the song, okay? I'll go ahead and sing it, but not the whole song, but no, but like they she was like just filing people through guys through to try to figure out who was going to sing this little solo,
uh,
and it was yeah Earth Angel. She needed four guys, and I was like, and all I did was like, oh, Earth Angel. And she was like, oh, all right. I don't know. I no, that did not come from my dad or my mom. I'm telling you. So she put me on stage, and like it was all recorded and everything, and it was uh all the girls in the classroom just went berserk when I did that. When I sang out, they were like, "Oh!" I was like, "Oh, well, maybe this is a thing.
that's funny.
Maybe this is something I should be doing." Because this seems to be working.
Yeah,
Oh man!
that's funny.
Sorry. Please edit some of this out.
How do you keep it in?
I'm telling you. So we got it on videotape. My dad put it on there, and we ended up. They put it on the stage, and here I am doing my deal,
Um,
and there's a videotape of the girls screaming, like after I sang that little just oh whoa, 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 whoa,
yeah,
whatever it
yeah,
is,
yeah.
and I was like, oh my gosh, I think I might want to do music.
Wow.
So I got to high school, and then yeah, music was my thing. I was like, I, I know I can sing, so let's just do it.
Did when you like? Did you ever think of writing your own songs?
Well, I was never, especially at the beginning. That's a good question. At the beginning, I didn't have the musical knowledge to do that. I didn't have, I didn't study an instrument. I didn't study piano or anything like that. So, um, I didn't have the ability to do that. Let's put it that way. It didn't happen until I went to college before I was able to really hone down. But I did start my junior year of high school. I really tried to hone down on some piano and stuff like that. Um, I was definitely teacher's pet in. I went to Blue Valley North High School in Overland Park. I I was three-time All-State Choir, and we didn't have a really good choir, but heck, there were times where she would just let me take over the choir at some points. It was pretty fun.
Sounds fun.
Had lots of good trips down to Wichita, Kansas for the all-state choir trip.
That's cool. I mean, I've when I was in, I guess I would say middle school and then high school. I did a couple of I was a part of the chorus in there, and then I did. I did see we went to a couple of places to sing at, so that was kind of fun. Um, that I could think of, but that
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, and one of the coolest experiences for me too was being able to, my choir director, I spent so much time, with my choir director. Her name is Jane Ann Welch, and she allowed me to, during my graduation, I got to conduct the two songs that were sung for the entire graduation, which was pretty awesome. I got to conduct the entire choir. I got to
that's cool.
prepare them and like work them up and get it done. It was pretty awesome. That was one of the most awesome experiences I think I can ever think of. I mean that she would let me do that um, during graduation. It was pretty awesome.
That's kind of cool. You did. You got the chance to do that.
Yeah, there's that JCCC.
Oh,
I don't know how many C's are in there, but
I think
but
I think
but
there's
but
some
yeah,
that.
it was a huge crowd, and the choir is there, and my choir director said, "You take it, you get it, go for it," and that was just awesome. I was like, this I'd almost I appreciate that more than giving a speech because I don't know what I'd speak about anyway. But
Yeah.
but it was pretty cool.
I think JCC has maybe three. Because I do remember I went there. I
Oh,
went
you
there.
did?
Yeah, I went to the one in the um where they have a couple of stores. Now the sister kind of it's like a smaller venue, just place for um getting your GED kind of style,
Right.
but not the not the college, but
Well, that's awesome. Yeah. And then that's high school, though. I mean, I'm telling you my entire life story. I feel like.
uh, yeah. Um, Tell me a little bit more about fatherhood.
Yeah. Okay. So fatherhood. I mean, let me tell you about the first day that he was born. Then, um, man, is that a life changer? Um, the first time that he was in my arms, I realized that my life was changed forever. And this is a joy. This is a just this fantastic opportunity. Um, I would say the labor portion of the process was very difficult for my wife at the time, and uh, there was an epidural, and there were some things that happened, and it did take some time. I do have a funny story though. Once we did figure out, okay, all right, everybody's all right, everybody's good. My father-in-law at the time, we went out to the car. We put the new car seat in, okay? And it was in a car garage. It was in St. Luke's out South Plaza, okay? And that took a minute to get that done. But we turned the light on, and of course, we get back. It's like a day and a half later because my wife at the time was still struggling from the birth. It was kind of a rough birth there, but anyway, it was time to go, right? And I've been sleeping up there in the hospital room for a day and a half. I I was there the whole entire time, and then I went out and it's time to go. We're finally ready to go home, and I go get the car, and well, I had left the light on in there, so the battery of the car had died.
Oh no.
So I go to get the car. Get this, like it's not starting up, and so I am like it's me personally, and they're coming down, like waiting for me to pick up the baby and everybody and I'm running around trying to find somebody to you know give me a jump to the car. Uh, you know, it's more funny than it is sort of,
Yeah.
but
Well, that.
but I'm like, all right, I finally found somebody to get the car jumped. I need the car jumped so that I can drive down and just pick him up and then just take him home. Uh, I finally found somebody, and they're like, "Where the heck were you? Where were you? It's been like 30 minutes." And I'm like, "Ah, oh, well, sorry, I did. I left the car light on a couple nights ago, so that's where that is. And then we we drove back home, and then, to be honest with you, I sort of had like a bit of a freak out moment. I'm like, because the baby's crying, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is really my baby. I don't know if I can do this. Like, why will he not stop crying? Why? Uh, so, like, I freaked out. I was like, oh my gosh. Of course, stayed there and held him, and like he's pooping and he's peeing and he's like doing all this stuff. Like, what the heck?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Well,
but so that's the beginning. But I'll tell you what. From then on, I adapted, and I was more appreciative than I could have ever been in my life, just to have a son. He is the greatest blessing that you can possibly have, and he remains to be that way today.
well, that's good. That's good. Now, here's a funny question that just came up in my head. Were you a pro at changing diapers, or were you not a pro?
Oh, I was made to be a pro. I was forced to be a pro by my wife. No, there was no question about that. I did just fine with all that.
That's awesome. So, what's a what's a day in life as a for you? Like, what do you do when you're not around your son?
I like to play golf. I like to play sports as much as I can, or do fun activities. I love movies.
Have you seen any movies recently?
What's the recent movie that I've seen? I haven't seen movies recently, so it's tough. Nah, I don't go out to movies. I usually am more of like a Netflix.
Is there a type of movie you would watch on Netflix?
I like dramas.
Yeah, those are really cool.
Yeah, I like movies that are real, like that tell true stories and stuff like that.
Now, what does your son like? Does he like fun movies or family movies or just like Disney character?
Well, he's liked all kinds of stuff. It's always ever changing. So as he goes along, in his deal, he changes it up a little bit. But I mean, he went from Paw Patrol to you know Loud House on Nickelodeon. So not so much movies. He did really connect with the movie. What's that Christmas movie with Tom Hanks? I can't remember. I'm sorry.
It's alright. It's alright.
The
Uh,
Christmas,
the,
the
there's-
train.
Oh, the train. Oh, I know what you're talking about. It's not in my. It's not coming up in my head.
Oh my gosh, I can't
But,
believe
I
I can't
mean-
remember.
I mean, I know what you mean. The train movie. That was a good one. The book. Have you read the book to him?
Yes, we have the book as well. We have the book. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's true.
why can't I think of it? Oh gosh.
It's a train movie. I should.
Tom Hanks.
Yeah, Tom Hanks. Anybody that's listening to this interview, please Google it and find it. But yeah, um, that's a good movie. Um, I mean, there's so many new movies coming out. It's crazy.
Hmm.
Um, did he like the
And I've
what's
taken him to the theater several times too, so he's seen several movies, and he he really enjoys.
go for it?
Okay, so just talking about the audition process after you graduate from college. Um, One of the cool things that we went through, well, you it's called a cattle call essentially, and one of the places that we went, and by we, I mean the some of my other graduates as well. We had an opportunity to go to audition. It's totally crazy. This is so weird how this happens, but you go to a hotel, and this was actually in St. Louis, Missouri. It was called the Midwestern Theater Auditions. And we went there, and what you do is if you're an actor, if you want to be an actor, you give, you got not very much time. You got about a minute and a half to give a quick monologue and a quick show of your voice. Yeah, maybe it was 2 minutes. I can't remember for sure. But then after that, all like this is in a hotel that is in like a ballroom where these folks from all over the country sit there and pretty much judge you off of like 2 to 3 minutes of your time, and you got to show them what you can do. Well, I spend most of my time singing, but then you can give like a quick monologue too if you want to. But then what they do is in the ballroom, all these locations they put up um, lists of if they want to see you again and if they want you for a callback. And what I did was, I guess I nailed it because I got a bunch of different deals. Whereas with my, I wouldn't say competitors, but some of my collegiate friends, they didn't get as many. And I had all day to go to these different little rooms to do whatever it was that we were gonna do. Um, they had different readings and different things that they wanted me to read for or sing for in the hotel room. So once all these things were posted, I had like, I don't know, it was like, I'm not bragging, but it was like 17 to 20, and my friends only had like four. Like I think was the other top one. So I had to go to each room, hotel room, and it's so funny. Like my there was one hotel room. I just walked in. I knocked on the door and I went in, and they said, "All right, so show me your bit. What's your bit?" I said, "Well, I I don't know. I don't know what my bit is." I mean, it's so funny. I'm like, Do you just want me to do my audition again, or what do you want me to do? Whatever your bid is. I was like, well, what am I auditioning for? They didn't tell me. They're like, I'm like, all right, well, I'll just sing a couple lines and then I'm out of here. So I did that. But then and they had a camera stuck right in my face. And then I went to another room, and I knew that it was for Avita, and I said, "Oh gosh, I would really like this one." I said I played Che before, and I'd really like to be a part of this show if at all possible. This was something from a group from Arizona, so I was able to do that. But they did record that, and so that was nice. But I guess what I wanted to mention was just like that auditioning process. It's called a cattle call. Um, there are a few across the country. One is in St. Louis. It's called the Midwestern um, competition, and then there's one in Memphis as well that is pretty big for regional theaters. Or you could just go to Broadway. But anyway, just wanted to mention that.